Good evening, everyone. It's Thursday night and another edition of Nathbet.com after a fantastic week. Congratulations again. Congratulations if you put the double on. Another winner, another little 2-1 winner, a little bit bigger some people got. Just one goal out with Arsenal not being Southampton to win the treble, and probably looks like a goal out as well with Middlesbrough not winning at home with that 0-0 draw. It cost us a 34-1 shot, so ever so close to getting the clean sweep, which would have been huge. But you can see the quality tips here. You can see the way that we're winning money consistently, and congratulations if you keep on backing the recommended stake plans, because you're going to be in plenty of profit. Looks like someone is looking down us. The light is shining down, as you can see these two lines here with the lights tonight. Looks like Nathbet is going to run good for plenty of weeks to come. Starting and finishing and continuing with the double this week. We're going to go with... Let me go to my page. I was looking at the midweek games back in the weekend. We're going to go with the first game this week. The first game in the safe double. Cardiff City. We're going to back Cardiff City against Norwich this week, guys. Cardiff, under obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, comprehensively beaten 2-0 at Man United, but I think there was never ever going to be a result apart from that, really. Obviously, with the likes of Mata and Rooney and Van Persie returning, it's going to be difficult for any team, let alone a Cardiff City's side. But they didn't play too badly, and they have improved slightly under Solskjaer, although obviously they're getting the results. But this is a massive game for them. They need to win this game if they're going to have any chances of staying up, and I do think they will. They've got the likes of Wilfried Zaha from Manchester United. He's probably going to start. I think they'll throw Fabio straight in as well. I know he hasn't had much of a run at Manchester United, but he's a decent wing back, attacking as well. Add to that Kenwyne Jones, Berge from Norway brought in, so they're going to have plenty of players. There's going to be that feel-good factor again, like it was at Old Trafford in midweek. But obviously in Wales, Norwich City can't score, can they? I mean, that's plain and simple. I don't know how they're not out the bottom. Well, how they're not in the bottom three. Sorry. Obviously they're going to get stuck in sooner rather than later, especially if they can't score goals. And that 0-0 draw against Newcastle, they were very lucky in that game, and I don't see them improving their goal-scoring record away from home against Cardiff City. So Cardiff 5-4, big price, odds against. We're gonna back Cardiff as the first bet in the double. Second one, to finish it off, we're gonna back Wigan at home. Wigan at home against Charlton. Wigan are doing very. Russell have done a decent job, really, after going out the Europa League. Now they can concentrate on league football. Good 0-0 draw, though, cost us a lot of money, unfortunately, against Middlesbrough in midweek, but they did play well. And, to be fair, they were probably the better side. They had the better chances on the night. But back to the DW Stadium, where they've improved significantly since his arrival, against a Charlton side that are horrendous, really. 4 points off the bottom of the table. Haven't won in their last 6 on their travels, only drawing 3 and losing 3. And I just think at 8-11, Wigan are an excellent price. 2.9-1. Double, guys. That's with Ladbrokes, Betfred and Coral, so plenty of bookmakers you can get your money on with them. There's plenty each week that you can have different offers on as well. I know Ladbrokes and Betfred have both got excellent offers on as we speak, so if you want to open an account with these guys, then make sure that you take advantage of their offers that they're giving every week. Make sure they're enticing you with £20, £40 and £50 deposit bonuses. So don't go away from the site, don't navigate away from it. Make sure you click on the link, come through Nathbet. You don't have to leave the page, so you know exactly what tips to put on with your deposits. Okay, on to the treble. This was actually very close to be putting in the double actually this week, guys, but it has eked itself into the treble. And that's Blackburn Rovers against Blackpool. We're going to go with a home win. Blackburn doing okay this season, aren't they? I mean, just outside the playoffs, and Jordan Rhodes has been magnificent for them at Ewood Park. Genuinely do have a chance of making the playoffs come into the season. Now, this team who they're playing do not, Blackpool. We tipped them again to lose last week. They did 5-1 against Reading, so that made the safe double came in. Happy days. And they were terrible, weren't they? We said they've obviously lost their manager. They've got temporary charge. Barry Ferguson has taken temporary charge of them. Tom Ince has gone, or looks like he's going to Crystal Palace on loan. And they just haven't given me any kind of positivity to show that they're going to come out of this slump, really. They've lost 6 on the bounce away from home, and I think you can make that 7 pretty safely when they go to Ewood Park. Like I say, Jordan Rhodes will be licking his lips at that prospect, especially at a 4-5 price, guys. Get on while you can. 4-5 Blackburn to beat Blackpool. Another team who've lost the last 6 on the bounce, not away from home, but at home, and that's Shrewsbury Town in League One. Don't mind that when you've got probably the informed side in the whole of the Football League coming. That's Brentford, who've won their last 6 at home and fought their last 6 away from home, including 2 draws, undefeated, and they are the hot hand at the moment, Brentford, in that league. And 5-6 going to a team, like I say, who've lost the last 6 on the bounce at home is too good to turn down. So Brentford to beat Shrewsbury is our second bet of the treble. And we're going to finish that off with an even money shot. I know my partner in crime, Peter Stillings, will not like this, but I have said that Hull will be dragged into the relegation battle, and they certainly have got a relegation battle now. Make no mistake about that. Obviously, mid-table mediocrity they would have taken, but it was very precarious with the teams and the results and how tight it was, and losses to devastating losses really to at Norwich and at Crystal Palace in midweek has meant that they're definitely staring over their shoulders, and the last thing they need is someone like with the quality of Tottenham coming to the KC Stadium at the weekend, and obviously Tottenham licking their wounds after that 5-1 demolition by Manchester City. Now, they were unlucky really, and the scoreline did flatter Manchester City somewhat, especially with the Danny Roses sending off, which I think will probably be rescinded. He got some of the ball, didn't he, against Deco, if you saw that that incident in midweek. But I mean, all of the part, they've still got quality, haven't they? I mean, Manchester City are on a different level. I've said for weeks here that Manchester City will win the league this season. I think if they beat Chelsea on Monday night and go 6 points clear, I think it's all but over. But Tottenham are a decent side themselves, and they'll still be looking to go for Champions League football and qualify in that top 4 slot this year. And the likes of Adebayor and Soldado, and the quality they've got in Sigurdsson and right the way through in the spine. It's not a team that Hull want to play, really. I know they've got a couple of new strikers in Jelavic and Long, but I think it's midfield and defence that are more the concerns for Steve Bruce's men, and I do think that Tim Sherwood will get the better on this occasion. I do think Spurs, especially even money to beat Hull, is a nice price, so we're going to back them. So Spurs, Brentford and Blackburn of the 3 in the treble this week, guys, gives us a 5.5 to 1 bet. Best price with Bet Victor on this occasion. On with the fourfold, not as big as last week, but still a very juicy price, guys. Mainly because of the first game that I'm predicting. They got an excellent 0-0 draw, didn't they? Okay, they didn't attack much at Chelsea on Wednesday night, but they did get a 0-0 draw to raise spirits in the camp. That's West Ham United. We're going to back them to beat Swansea at home. 2 to 1 is that price. Big price. Obviously, they're definitely better at the back, West Ham United. I don't think that actually conceding goals have been their problem. It's been scoring goals. But Andy Carroll looks like he had a couple of slight, half 50-50 chances against Chelsea in midweek. And I do think that he's going to find the net sooner rather than later. You've got Kevin Nolan coming back from suspension. Plenty of signings as well, and attacking signings if they need to bring people on from Sam Allardyce. Swansea did beat Fulham, but that wasn't to say that wasn't to say much really, because Fulham have been horrendous, haven't they, really? And they look like one of the teams that could quite easily lose their Premier League status come the end of the season. But with Michu out, Wilfred Bonney didn't score. There were a few worrying signs in that game, despite them winning 2-0. There were 2 heavily deflected goals as well. They didn't play them off the park, and I do think that West Ham will have a big game here and win this one at 2 to 1. I think it's a very nice price to start the fourfold off. Second team in the fourfold, Fleetwood Town against York City. York lost, I think they lost 3-1 or 2-1 anyway at Chesterfield. Well, at home to Chesterfield on Tuesday night. Fleetwood flying third in League 2. Won 4 out of the last 6 at home, drawing 1, losing 1. 16 goals in those 6 games, so definitely score goals as well. Something that York do not do away from home. So 17 to 20 about Fleetwood to carry on and looking for those 2 automatic promotion spots to go up into League 1 is definitely within their sight. So Fleetwood to beat York at 17 to 20 is the price, and that's the second bet in the fourfold. Now, I ummed and ahed about this third bet, especially with some of the people they've lost in the last couple of days, but I still fancy it. I'm going to back in the North East Derby. I'm going to back Newcastle to beat Sunderland. Now, Sunderland, obviously, massive turn of fortune in the last couple of weeks. Carling Cup final, beat Stoke 1-0, but that doesn't really say too much about the game. They're still not scoring goals, and they could quite easily have lost against Stoke. Let alone draw. They got a little bit lucky, really, on that occasion. And yes, we have lost Mr. Remy for 3 games, which doesn't help. Matters Kabayi's gone as well, so they have lost 2 of probably their 3 or 4 top players. But I do expect the home crowd, volatile atmosphere for them to get stuck in and grind out a win. It's not going to be pretty, and there could be plenty more red cards and yellow cards to come. But I do think, especially with Ben Arfa looking like he's back to his best, and he's going to get a chance now that the two big boys have gone for a while. I think that I think they're going to sneak past Sunderland. I really do. Even money 10 to 11 in some places. We're going to back Newcastle to beat Sunderland on this occasion. And we're going to finish it off with a very small price. I say small, but it should be a lot smaller, really. Only a 1 to 2 price. Alfreton against Hyde United. That's in the Skrill Conference, guys. I think if you watch Soccer Saturday, you've seen the joke they have about Hyde, and really they lose every week, don't they? I mean, I think they are statistically the worst ever league football or Vauxhall Conference, Skrill Conference side in the history of football, really, and it doesn't like getting any better for them, especially against Alfreton, who are top 4 in the table, score goals for fun at home, and I expected this price to be more like 1 to 4, to be honest, but they're not. They're 1 to 2, and I think it's a nice little bonus win, really, at the end of a treble to make it into a fourfold. So we're going to back those 4 teams, guys. Gives us a 14 to 1 fourfold. It's still not too shabby. That's with Bet Victor, and then you can get a decent price with Betfred as well. Enjoy, get the bets on, use your profits from the last week and the week before and the week before that, and so on. You see the trend here. Like I said, the light is shining on us this week, guys. Get your money on, and we'll count those profits come Sunday. Have a great one, and we'll see you very, very soon. Goodbye.